Hi, I'm Jim Posner, and welcome to video 1 in this 3-part series of how to overcome stress and avoid panic in high-pressure situations. So what does that mean? Well, if you're about to take an important test, or perhaps you're about to go make a speech or run a meeting, maybe a sales pitch to a potential client, these are all perceived high stress and situations that can create some panic in a lot of people. And the techniques that I'm going to give you in this video series are scientifically proven methods to help alleviate that stress, and that will in turn help you perform better. So here is tip number 1, and it is something called rhythmic diaphragmatic breathing. And I've included a reading from a book called The Science of the Breath. And this delves a little bit deeper into the science of why it really is so important to breathe into the diaphragm and not into the chest. And to give you a little bit of information about it, what's really happened is we've actually unlearned how to breathe. As we've grown and evolved, we actually take these short, shallow breaths into the chest that can cause stress and panic and even create a full-on anxiety attack sometimes because it feels like we're just not getting enough air. And I can tell you firsthand, I've been there, and I know really how it feels to have an acute panic attack, and the fact that we breathe short into the chest can really exacerbate that. So going into a stressful or high pressure situation, many times people will just automatically go to this shallow chest breathing. It's a part of our fight or flight system. So it's, hey, I'm about to go do something that scares me or makes me nervous, and that's what I do. The body does this fight or flight type of breathing. So if we can cultivate the skill of breathing into the diaphragm, well, instantly our body becomes a little bit more calm, becomes a little bit more relaxed. So in order to do that, there are a few simple exercises we can do. And I'm going to show you one right now. And it's simply put one hand on the chest and one hand on your belly. And I'm going to take a step back and hopefully you can see my belly. And what we're trying to do here, let's see, is when we breathe in, you want the hand on your belly should really be moving a lot more than the hand on your chest. Really, the hand on your chest should almost really be staying still. And we want to breathe deep into the diaphragm. Of course, the hand on our chest will move a little bit, most likely. So if you just sit with that for a moment and see how that feels. Just go at your own pace. Just focusing on the belly expanding with each in-breath. Now here's the kicker. When we first start to try to do this, quite often we get a little worked up and say, oh, I'm not doing it right, it doesn't feel relaxing, and I can't do this. So one major tip here is to not judge yourself, all right? This is a new skill that we have to actually relearn. We've unlearned how to breathe properly and breathe into the diaphragm, quite frankly, because of all the triggers that are around in our world. We pick up our smartphone and instantly we think to ourselves, why didn't this person tag me in a post? Why didn't my boss email me back? Or why wasn't I invited to this party? Maybe we live in the city, we walk outside and there's horns honking and sirens blaring. We hear our telephone ring, and sometimes the first thought that goes into our head is, who's calling me? What's wrong? So we have all these triggers, and they have really exacerbated this slow, shallow chest breathing. So this is really something we have to relearn how to do. But I promise you, if you practice it, you will feel more relaxed and you will be able to perform better in high stress situations. So here's the next question. Where and when can you practice this diaphragmatic breathing, this belly breathing? Well, the answer really is anywhere. How about making a intentional attempt to practice before you go to bed? So while you're lying in bed, you can breathe into your diaphragm. While you're on the elevator, you can work on breathing into your diaphragm. While you're online at the checkout counter, while you're waiting for the bus, while you're waiting at a red light. And I'll tell you something else, even at work, if you're in a meeting and you're not the one running the meeting, if you just make this intentional attempt to go and breathe into your diaphragm, you're going to feel a lot more present, and you're actually going to start to realize and become a lot more aware of what's going on in the meeting. Because the second you say, all right, I'm going to breathe into the diaphragm, you become more grounded. And like I said a second ago, you become more present. And then instantly you become more aware of everything that's going on. So rhythmic diaphragmatic breathing, really, really powerful tool. You know, some of the science behind this is that it actually lowers our cortisol levels. So our cortisol levels are also the stress hormone. Also, I just interviewed a pulmonologist, which is a lung and breathing doctor, and she cited evidence of rhythmic diaphragmatic breathing actually lowering blood pressure. So this is a really, really powerful tool. And if you're about to go give that big presentation or go have an interview or you're about to take an important test, if you sit for a few minutes and have cultivated this skill of breathing into the belly, I know that you're going to feel more relaxed and you're going to perform better on whatever that task is that you're about to take on. So rhythmic diaphragmatic breathing, that's step one in this great 3-part video series on how to lower stress and reduce anxiety when you go into high pressure situations. So stay tuned tomorrow for video number 2 with another really great actionable tip on how to lower that stress. So stay tuned. Jim Posner from the Mindful Advantage. Thank you very much for being here.